Good day to each and everyone. So, before we start, let me first introduce myself. By the way, I am Azucena Rose Sitiano from BA to regular student. So, for today's video, we're gonna tackle about developing study skills on how learners can help their study skills to develop. But before we proceed to discuss on the developing study skills, let me first give you a meaning of developing. So, when we say when we say developing, it means growing and becoming more mature, advanced, or elaborate. Also, when we say study, it means learn new information, formulate it into knowledge, and apply it in order to develop new skills. And when we say study skills, it means it is the strategies used to improve the learning ability. It helps in enhancing the potential of a person by improving his ability to read. Study skills are essential to select and organize information when overwhelmed with various information. For the objectives of my report, at the end of this presentation, every learners will be able to learn new strategies to develop their study skills. Next, practice new skills learned in order to have confidence in working with these skills. Next is to help increase performance in school. And lastly is to identify important on developing study skills. What is study skills? It is a technique that will help a student in studying, recalling, and retaining information. It can be easily learned and applied to every field related to studies. So, good study habits are important for success in school. Knowing how to study effectively foster feelings of competence, develop, develops positive attitudes, and helps children realize they can control how will they do in school and in life. Here are the some tips of studying effectively. Eh, First tips is to determine how much time you should spend. To manage your time, you should determine how much time you should spend. Next is start studying now. So, to start studying now, you aim to develop your study skills now. Next is, in order to maximize your time, be creative as to when and how you study. To developing study skills, you should be creative as to when and how you study. Next is, create a comfortable studying environment. You should find a place where you can be comfortable studying. Next is write down studying goals. So, to develop your skills in studying, you should plan your goal. And the last one is avoid cramming. We have here the key points about study strategies are personal approach. So, some things work for a person and not for others as effectively. The study strategies help to develop a personal approach that is specific and will meet the individual needs of the learner. If learners have a personal approach and know how to handle it, it will help them develop their study skills. Next key points about study strategies are practice. It have been rightly said that practice makes it perfect because a learner has to practice a lot to develop and hone his skills and strategies for effective learning. It is a practice that helps to master various skills, increase awareness about things that should be done, and gain confidence so that it can prove beneficial not only at that point but throughout the life of the learners. Next key points about study strategies are generic. So, generic, it means applicable for all. The best thing about study strategies is that the learner can use it in almost all the areas of study. It is generic and not subject specific. Developing such skills will help the learner in understanding the ideas, theories, and concepts relevant to a specific subject. And last key points about study strategies are transferable. The term transferable, it can be passed to another person. These skills are not just for students who are interested in finding effective ways of learning, but are transferable as it helps the learner throughout his life in new contexts like self-discipline, problem solving, time management, and organizational skills. For the next slides, we have heard the skills for learning, skills for study. We should apply first the time management. You should prioritize tasks. Don't overcommit yourself and break large, time-consuming tasks into smaller tasks. You should manage your time to gain a good result in developing study skills. Next is self-discipline and self-discovery. In terms of self-discipline, it is the ability to control yourself, especially to every learners, because self-discipline is a learned skills, and the self-discovery will continue because it can help improve mental health as it allows you to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, and it is important to student helping in developing study skills by applying self-discipline and self-discovery. Next is concentration and memorization. Concentration and memorization can be increased by developing your study habits, using time efficiently, and become involved with the learning task quickly. And lastly, we have organization. Being organized makes everything else easier. It helps you get to work faster without wasting time looking for stuff. So for our next slides, we have 5-step strategy to study. This will help for learners to develop their study skills. SQ3R is a 5-step strategy that can be used while reading any text. SQ3R stands for a step constituting the strategy. Reading and recording helps to get a clear understanding of the text and also grasp the message of the text. These 5 steps in the strategy, when followed sequentially, will help to satisfy the true purpose of reading. So, the SQ3R stands for survey. Q stands for question. And the 3R stands for read, and the next R stands for recall, recite, write, and last R stands for review. SQR3 will developing study skills of every learners. For effective study strategies, you need to be open-minded, because if you are open-minded, you can learn more and grow. Being open-minded means welcoming new ideas, arguments, and information that you typically do not align with. Educational through open-mindedness is a skill for students to rethink assumptions, identify misinformation, and consider alternative ways to make decisions, especially in studying. Next is make learning meaningful. Meaningful learning teaches students important cognitive skills they will use throughout their life. Cognitive skills are what students use to evaluate, analyze, remember, and make comparisons. Meaningful learning is the most effective way for students to engage learning. Next is have the desire to practice and improve your retention. And lastly, learn how to learn. It can encourage self-development. So for the next slides, we have conclusion. Simple study skills described above are, in fact, healthy study habits that can be easily adopted by all students to improve their school performance and thereby enhance their self-esteem. Students can develop their study skills if they apply effective strategies in studying. And that's all. Thank you for listening.